Look at the incredible beauty of Broken Top. I am standing here in Alpine heaven, currently traversing an alpine meadow tundra zone on my way up to Broken Top and No Name Lake and Bend Glacier. Currently at a creek crossing, deciding where to cross. I think I will just go right here. And we did it. Most important thing is do not step on a slippery rock and push your weight on it and slip and fall. That's really the only way you could hurt yourself. Better to get wet than it is to fall. So we just crossed one creek and we got another one coming up. I'll stop and turn around. Look at that, that is crazy. That is the mighty Broken Top, the star of our hike today. It's kind of funny, still have the clear Cedar Creek forest fire haze in the area, so that's not funny. But the funny part is, if you just plan it right, come for a hike that the star is in the foreground rather than the background, meaning you're not doing a big expansive, panoramic view from a vista, but you're just looking at things right in front of you, then really you don't get at all negatively impacted by the forest fires across the way. So we got no signs of fire here, no smoke, vibrant blue sky, vibrant mountain. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So the No Name Lake we're gonna be climbing up to, really the hero of our hiking shoreline of it, my favorite alpine lake in all of Oregon, is kind of tucked into the nook and crannies of our mountain friend to our left. So we won't be able to see it till the very end when we get up to the top. Got to earn the view. We get to walk shoreline of it. And then I always recommend hiking past it, going a little above it, up to the Bend Glacier viewpoint, and then hiking back down. That's heaven on earth when you're hiking down and looking at No Name Lake. One of the most beautiful views in Oregon and the whole West Coast, I would argue. When you stop and turn around, look at that. That is crazy. Let me pan around and just show off this beautiful alpine range we're in. I mean, is this not crazy? We are continuing along our trail. Let me stop and frame this. Look at how absolutely beautiful this is. I'm looking at the mighty Broken Top, and we are currently on Broken Top Trail. We are hiking this way because today is October 12th. This creek is a mere fraction of its normal heavy flow in summer, so it's actually the lowest I've ever seen it. That is a diminished creek. Normally that's a little bit more challenging, although I wouldn't say challenging in general. And let's stop over here and look back up at Broken Top. Look at that, that is crazy. Let me show you the beautiful alpine tundra meadow we are traversing through as we continue to hike along. Look at this gray sandy trail. It's like pristine as we go through this alpine wonderland. So we started at Todd Lake, that's our trailhead. 13.5 mile hike, 2,600 feet up to Broken Top, No Name Lake, and Bend Glacier. That is to our left. We are ascending. Started at 7. For these long hikes, 13.5 mile, 2,600 foot elevation. Really, a 2,600 foot elevation gain is the harder metric there. 13.5 by itself is not that long, but I'd almost say that's the high end of moderate, low end of hard. But the elevation gain is what makes it more challenging. But for these hikes, we want to start at sunrise. That way you can have a more comfortable time managing your hydration and your energy. So today when I got here, give you a taste of Three Sisters Wilderness in the mountains high up in Central Oregon. I got here, it was in the high 30s, and this is still considered summer weather. And by the heart of the day, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon, it'll be in the 70s, low 70s. So I would expect to be up the mountain in the low 60s. I'm pretty much hiking from the high 30s to low 60s, so it's perfect. Hydrated well before I came. I got 2 sugar-free Powerades. Had a huge protein breakfast, eggs, sausage and cheese. and I've got some pepperoni sticks in my pocket. So I'm well appointed Alpine Wonderland experience. Got another sign here. Three Sisters Wilderness, Deschutes National Forest. My favorite wilderness and my favorite forest. And this hike may be giving you a hint why. This pristine trail is pretty world class in its quality. I'm a big believer in developing a deep appreciation and love for the forest. Because if you think just standing right here, by the way, there's the mountain, gorgeous. If you think standing right here is epic, then you will enjoy every step of this hike. If you don't have a great love and appreciation for the forest, and you're only in it for like the final view at the end, then I don't think this would be nearly as fun. So life is a journey, not a destination. Decided to do the longer version of this trail, which is my recommendation and preference. Instead of just doing the Broken Top Trailhead, if you do the Todd Lake Trailhead, makes it a good 13.5 miles, about 2,600 foot elevation gain. You get, my humble opinion, a more rewarding, enriching experience. There's the forest around Todd Lake, and the intermediate sections are pretty magical. So you miss out on all that alpine forest, alpine tundra, alpine meadow magic if you just do the shorter version of Broken Top Trailhead. So particularly love the striations on the left, that rustic and orange stripes, the streaks, the striations. Oh, it's beautiful. We can't see it now, but eventually we're going to be up there. That's kind of the destination of where we're going, is why we're climbing this. And there's a lake, No Name Lake, in the nooks and crannies of that mountain up there. And we're going to go on the shoreline of it. The views looking down on No Name Lake as you're descending that back to the shoreline, that is heaven, my friend, a slice of heaven. That's what you want. So that is my recommendation. I'd be remiss if I didn't just keep showing you. Oh my gosh, Broken Top. Can you see why it's arguably my favorite mountain in all of Oregon? It's magic. It's got all sorts of texture, the colors, the rustic, the orange. And then of course, as I said, No Name Lake tucked in it. I think Broken Top is magic. I'll tell you a little story. They actually wanted to make Three Sisters Wilderness, exactly where I'm standing, a national park at one time. Very glad they didn't. If you truly love an area, I truly love this area. It's my favorite wilderness area. You don't want it to become a national park. Because what they do with national park is, I'll use an expression I like to use. I call it the Walmart parking lotification of a beautiful area. Not a knock against Walmart. I like Walmart, but as far as a nature area, I don't want this whole area to be paved so you can have 1,000 RVs here. That no shade against RVs. I love RVs too, but in fact, I plan on buying one, but I don't want one up here. So if you really love an area, the best destination you could have for that area is wilderness area. I'd much rather do a longer hike, have to earn the view, so to speak, than have it transformed into a national park with thousands of people coming. And, yeah, you get that $30 fee. We don't, the national park would. And they spend that money on paving and basically developing the area, but that's not necessarily a good thing if you love nature and you want to preserve it. So fortunately, this was a few decades ago. There was a movement to get Three Sisters Wilderness into a national park. Fortunately, the locals were smart enough to say that is a bad deal for us. We'd like to keep it natural and long distance hiking and enjoy the beauty of it, natural state. So they formed against it, and it never happened. I hope the movement never resurfaces to try to make it a national park again, because I would be on the front lines saying, heck no. I'm not anti-development in general, but you got to pick your spots. I think growth is good and inevitable, but I don't think you want to pave over one of the most beautiful areas in the country for convenient parking. It just doesn't feel like a good trade-off, in my humble opinion. A lot of people seem to view the hiking and camping schedule around the school season, which is not how I view it. I base it more on the calendar. But that's good for me because that means less people out here. Not that I don't like people, but who doesn't want to maximize their privacy and seclusion? Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. People who are just doing Broken Top, like you look at all trails in Broken Top, it's from straight ahead. That's a much shorter version. I'm doing the longer version where you start at Todd Lake. Now as I turn around, no more separate trails. This is the primary trail now. We scan Ball Butte. Again, 7,917 feet. You see straight ahead here at the bottom of this climb, that is often where the forestry rangers like to stand uniformed and check Recreation.gov permit. So they do check, and then right there is where they typically stand, straight ahead at the bottom of this hill. So this is a Recreation.gov permit trail. They have a limited number they access per day. By the way, I'm burying the lead by not talking about the mountain. That is gorgeous.